everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Megan from Hooked and Blooming. Today we are going to learn how to crochet the Hooked and Blooming Tunic cardigan. And for today's tutorial, what you're going to need is a 5mm hook, a 5.5mm hook, a pair of scissors, a needle for seaming, and also it would help to have some stitch markers as well. So let's go over the tutorial. For this tutorial, I am going to be using Lion Brand Yarns Ice Cream Big Scoop of Love. And this is a lighter weight yarn. For the tutorial, I am using the lemon meringue, but for all my videos and pictures, I used the Tutti Fruitti color. This is a lightweight 3 yarn, 100% acrylic, and for the medium large, you're going to need about a skein plus like a quarter of a skein of another skein.
Okay, so we are going to start with our 5mm hook, and I have my yarn here, and we're gonna make a slip knot. So what I do for my slip knot is I have the shorter yarn here on the side of my hand, the longer yarn here, and I kind of just hold it like this, and then I twist, and then I grab the yarn over my finger and I just pull it through the loop and just pull here. Okay, and then we have our slip knot. So we're just going to tighten that up on our yarn, on our hook, and we're going to get started. So this is going to start from the bottom up. So we're going to start from the ribbing, and we're going to go up to the back. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 15. So the end game here is 14 stitches. The 15th chain is going to be for our turning chain. 14, 15. So we have 15 chains. What we're going to do is we're going to start from the second chain from our hook. So we're going to start here, and we're just going to do single crochets all the way across. So 1, 2, 3, and 14. Okay, we're going to chain 1 and turn. So now for row 2, we're going to go in the back bumps, or in the back loops, I'm sorry. So let me put my hook in here. So where we have our V, we're going to go in this bump, in this loop right there. So insert, single crochet, and single crochets all the way across for 14 stitches. If you'll see, so for the last stitch on row 2, what I did was I went through both. I don't know, I just like the way that looks better when it's done, and then chain 1 and turn. And we're going to repeat this until we have a total of 80 rows. So we'll go through this one more time and then I will meet you back up. Okay, so chain 1 and turn, and I'll meet you back up. I'm actually only going to do 20 rows, but you're going to need 80. So get that worked up, or for whatever size that you're working on, and then I will show you how we get into the pattern. Okay, so right now I have 19 rows, but if you ever get lost, an easy way to count is you can count these by 2 and you'll just count the ridges. So this is one row right here, and then this is going to be your second row. So we can go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and this is 19, and then we'll do row 20. If you do need to customize this, you just want to make sure that you keep this in a multiple of 4. Okay, so there's 20 rows. So we have our amount of rows that we need for the size that we're working on. So once we're done with our rows,
we're going to change our hook to the 5.5 millimeter hook.
So we're going to chain 1, and we are going to work all the way across in single crochet for each row. So what that is going to look like is, so in this first row right here, we're going to do a single crochet. Might be a little bit hard to get in there, but so this is right here. This is where we want to go. And we want to make sure that we have 20, I want to make sure I have 20 stitches across. You want to make sure that you have the amount of stitches for the size that you're working on, for the amount of rows, for the amount of ribbing rows. So here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you know, another easy way to kind of make sure that you're on track. So this is kind of like a little bit of a bigger, you know, space to go into, and then here's a smaller space. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So we have 20. I have 20. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. So now we're going to get into the Suzette stitch, and we are going to do a total of 6 rows for the Suzette stitch. So what that is going to look like, we're going to put a single crochet and a double crochet in the first stitch. We're going to skip 1, single crochet, double crochet in the next, skip 1, single crochet, double crochet, and we're going to do that all the way across. And then what's going to happen is we're going to end up here, but we want to end, this is the second to last loop, but we want to end on a single crochet and then chain one and turn. And then what that's going to do, it's going to change our amount of stitches from 20 to 21, which it's not going to make a difference, and you'll see why later when we get into our lace. So you're really going to be kind of like alternating between 20 and 21 stitches, but that's normal because of the Suzette stitch. So in this first stitch, single crochet and then double crochet, both in the same stitch. Okay, and then we're going to skip one, single crochet and double crochet. Okay, and then skip one, single crochet, double crochet. And then skip one, single crochet and double crochet. And then you're going to work that all the way across, and then I'll meet you back up at the end. Okay, so we're at our second to last stitch, single crochet, double crochet, whoop, that's double crochet, and then end on a single crochet. Okay, and then we're going to chain one and turn. So for the second row, and this is going to be your repeat as well, single crochet, double crochet in that first stitch, and then you're going to skip this one, and then single crochet, double crochet. Single crochet, double crochet. Okay, and you're going to work that all the way across, and then also for a total of 6 rows of the Suzette stitch. So go ahead and work that up, and I will meet you back. Okay, so I have my 6 rows. I have another single crochet to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our single crochet here, chain one, turn, and now what we're going to do is we're going to get into our lace. We're going to get into our lace section. So what we do is we're going to do single crochets all the way across for 4 rows. So what that's going to look like is single crochet all the way across. And for this pattern, we're going to do 2 sections of the lace. So what it's going to look like is, so you do your 6 rows of Suzette stitch, and then you do 4 rows single crochet, and then you get into your lace, and then after the lace you're going to do 4 more single crochet rows, and then 6 Suzette stitch rows. But we'll see how that comes together here. And single crochets all the way across, and again you're going to have 21 stitches, and that's completely fine. That's just what happens. So single crochet all the way across, and just, you know, periodically it just helps to make sure that you're on track with your stitches. You know, every so often just count your stitches. That'll save you a ton of heartbreak in the end. honestly. So there's our first row of single crochet, chain 1, turn, and single crochet all the way across. And keep doing this until you have your 4 rows, and then I will meet you back up at the end of my 4th row. Okay, so I have my last single crochet. Now we're going to get into our lace section, our beautiful lace section. So we are going to loosely chain 5, and I say loosely because when we get into the next row, we're going to be inserting 4 double crochet in these chains that we're about to do. So you really want to make sure that those chains are loose. So it doesn't have to be like crazy loose, just make sure you can, you know, get those double crochet in there. So that was 2. Here's 3, here's 4 and 5, and we're going to turn. And now we're going to count, we're going to skip 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Actually, we're going to skip 3 and insert our single crochet in the 4th. Then loosely chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 3, and in the next, a single crochet. Loosely chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 3, place a single crochet in the 4th, loosely chain 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 3, single crochet in the next, loosely chain 5 again, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a single crochet in the last. Okay, so that's what it's looking like so far. Very pretty, but it's not together yet. So we're going to chain 2, turn. Now in the 3rd chain, we're going to insert 4 double crochet in there. I do like to go in as a actual stitch, so we want to make sure that we have that V. We're going into the V, okay? Not just like a single. I did that on my original when I was kind of, you know, coming up with the pattern. I did it like that. But I just found it to be a little bit more difficult with the seaming when I seam my my panels to the back panel, my front panels to the back. So you know, it's just a personal preference. I just feel like it looks better like that anyway. But I will have pictures on the pattern as well, like, you know, what it looks like that, and then what it looks like with, you'll see what it looks like with this as well. So in the 3rd chain, we're going to put 4 double crochet in there. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then again, count your chain, 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochet in that 3rd, and we really want to do an even number on those an odd number on those chains. That way we can make sure that we're grabbing that middle chain to make it, you know, to make it look even and nice. and again. One, two, three, and four. We survived. We survived that lace section. It's not hard. It's fun. I like it. Look at all this texture though. I mean, I love it. So again, we're going to loosely chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn, and then we're going to put our single crochet in the actual space here. So single crochet in that space. And then loosely chain 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't need to be dramatic on the looseness of those chains. You just want to make sure it's easy to get your hook in there, because when I first did it, I didn't make them loose, and it took me like a half an hour to do like 1 row, and I didn't need to. So, okay, so that was 5, single crochet, loosely chain 5. 5, and then I'm gonna put my last single crochet in that, in the stitch, not just that space, in this actual stitch. I just feel like it looks cleaner and, you know, more like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just more, like where everything's the same, more uniform. There we go, more uniform. All right, so now we're gonna chain 2, and then we're gonna do the 4 double crochet again in the 3rd chains, and then once you're done with this, notice that I have 5 sections of 4 double crochet, so that's 20 stitches. That's 20 stitches. So now we're back to the 20 stitches, and that's okay. So completely normal. Once you get back to our Suzette stitch again, it's going to go back to 21 stitches, and then when we get back to our other lace section, it's going to be 20. So that's okay. You know, if you're counting your stitches, that's okay. You do want to always make sure that you count your stitches anyway, just to make sure that, you know, you're on track. But so like I said, we're going to do 4 double crochet in the 3rd chain, you know, just like this row. And then once that's done, you're going to do 4 single crochet rows again, and then you're going to do 6 rows of the Suzette stitch, and then after that you do another 4 rows of single crochet, and then you get back into your lace section, and then another 4 rows of single crochet, and then you're actually going to finish the back panel with all Suzette stitches, all Suzette stitch rows after that. So I will work my 4 double crochet in these sections here, and I'll also do my single crochet section and another Suzette stitch section, and then I will meet you back up after I do my second lace section, and I'll meet you back up, and then we'll go over measurements after that. actually really quick, I kind of want to show you the single crochet after the lace section, just so that you know. So I chained one and I turned, and then we're going to do single crochet all the way across. In each stitch. So we're not going to go in this space right here. We're just going to go through the stitch. Just go through the stitch like how we did right here. Just go through the stitch, not the space. Chain one, turn. Okay, so we are now at the point where we will be doing the rest of the back panel. And so far we've done our ribbing, and then we did our 6 rows of Suzette stitch, 4 rows of single crochet, and then we have our lace section, and then another 4 rows of the single crochet, 6 Suzette, 4 rows of single crochet, lace, 4 rows of single crochet, and then we have 6 rows of Suzette stitch. So what you want to do for the back panel is, for the medium large size, you're going to work the rest in Suzette stitch. I'm sorry. You're going to work the rest of the back panel in Suzette stitch until you reach a length of 27 inches. So go ahead and work that up, and then you can tie off once you reach 27 inches. So go ahead and work that up, and then what you're going to do next is you are going to do the left front panel, which will be 40 ribbing rows instead of 80, and then you're just going to work it up from there. And then I want you to stop when you get to your 6th Suzette row, your 6th Suzette stitch row, after your second lace section. So you want to do you basically the same thing. You're doing the same thing as the back panel. You're just really cutting it at half, and then I want you to stop when you get to the 6 rows, because I'm going to show you how to do decreases. So we'll get into that. So go ahead and work all of that up, and then I will meet you back up to show you how to do the decreases. Okay, so I did my 6 Suzette rows. So I want to chain 1 and turn. It'll be a good thing to have some stitch markers. If you have like color coordinated ones, that'd be great, just to make sure, just to kind of keep track of when you decreased and where, or like which decrease you did, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be alternating the decreases from doing it in the beginning to and then the next decrease will be doing it at the end of the row. So I marked, so I have my right side. So we ended on our wrong side. This is going to be our wrong side. I'm going to put a stitch marker here. I just like the way that the stitches look better on this side, as opposed to this side. When I do after the row after my ribbing row, when I put the single crochets in, I just like the way that they look better. I just feel like they're a little bit neater, you know, on this side. So I want this to be my right side, because I want this to be the side that everyone sees. So this is my right side, but we have our right side facing us. So this is our left panel. And the way that we're going to start our decrease is for the Suzette stitch, what we're going to do is we're going to place a single crochet only in the first stitch. And then, ooh, 1 second. Okay, I forgot a stitch there, so I placed that real quick. So place a single crochet in the first stitch, and then we're still going to skip one, and then we're going to do a double crochet in the next one, and then we're going to skip one, and then single crochet and double crochet in the next, and then you're just gonna continue on with the Suzette stitch all the way across. And then after this row is done, you're gonna do two more rows of Suzette stitch without decreasing. And then I will work that up real quick, and then I will meet you back up after those after I work the next 2 rows. But what I'm going to do right now, just so I can keep track, and honestly this saved me so much heartache, and I just have like ones like these, like, you know, just colorful ones, and I can just kind of, you know, alternate between a couple. So I'm going to go ahead and do dark blue for this first one, and I'm just going to place a stitch marker right there. Okay, and then I will meet you back up after the following 2 rows after this. Okay, so I completed my next 2 rows. So in total with the decreases, we have 3 rows. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. So notice that my stitch marker is on this side. We obviously want to make sure that we decrease on this same size, or I'm sorry, on the same side. So we're going to work our Suzette stitch all the way across. So we're going to work our Suzette stitch until we have 5 stitches left. And we're essentially doing the same thing that we did in the beginning of the row. We're just doing it at the end. And I'll show you what that looks like here. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put, so we have our Suzette stitch here, the single and the double. We're going to skip and then single crochet only in the next. We're gonna skip 1 and then a double crochet in the next. Skip 1, single crochet in the last. And I'm gonna put a different color stitch marker, and this one is going to indicate that I decreased at the end. We are going to repeat this 3 more times, and then once you reach your last decrease, which you should end on the yellow one indicated here, you are going to do another regular 7 rows of Suzette stitch to finish it off, and that's what got me to the 27 inches. Also, you're gonna have the matching 35 rows so that it matches the back panel, the length of the back panel. So this is honestly so straightforward, and this pattern is so forgiving as well. I tweaked it a couple of times from the first one, and the one that I finally settled on, I'm like, I love it so much. So go ahead and complete that, and then you're gonna do your right panel, and you're gonna do the same exact thing. You're gonna stop once you do all of this section for the 40 ribbing rows and working up. And when you do your right side panel, instead of starting your decrease in the beginning like we did here, you're still going to start it on your wrong side, but you're going to start it at the end, just like how I showed you for on this color stitch marker. So and then you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to repeat this 3 more times, and then you're going to do another 7 rows of the Suzette stitch without decreasing, and you should get the 35 rows, 27 inches, and then you can go ahead and fasten off, and then I will meet you back up for the seaming. All right, so here she is, and so this is my right panel, this is my left panel. With our back panel, we want to make sure that it's the wrong side is facing us, because that's the inside of the cardigan, and then our panels are on their right side. So just a couple of quick things before we get into the seaming. So you will see that I have some stitch markers here, and just to make it like easier for me, and maybe it'll make it easier for you, is I just did them at like just, you know, just like little sections, like these crazy sections, just to make sure that, just to make it a little bit easier for me to make sure that I have everything lined up. It helps me. So and then what we need to do is we're going to need 2 more stitch markers, and we're going to measure from the top of the cardigan. We're going to measure down to about 8 or 9 inches. It's all personal preference. I might go 8 inches, but we'll see how that looks. And this is going to be where our armhole is. And then this way we can work our sleeves just from here out. So it's pretty easy, and I'll show you that here in a bit. But let me get my tape measure. Okay, I have my tape measure here. So we're going to measure from the top. Just make sure that these are lined up pretty good. So from the top down, so here's 8 inches right here. I might even go a little bit shorter, maybe like 7.5. But will I regret that? I don't know. You know, let's go with 8. That's pretty much like the standard, and I don't want to ruin that. So, and that's also what I have written in the pattern. So we're just gonna stick with that. So it's gonna be about here, which is, I think that's where I was pointing to before I even measured it. It looked about right. I'm starting to get an eye for this thing, for this. Okay. so sorry, it's like the way that I'm sitting right now. So we're gonna stop about here. Yeah. Oh my goodness. This is embarrassing. Okay, and get that in there. Now we're gonna get into the seaming. All right, so basically what we wanna do is we wanna turn this inside out. So our right sides now are actually facing each other for the left panel and the back panel. So both of those right sides are facing each other. And it just makes everything look a little bit nicer when you do it that way. All right, so let's get our yarn. And I have enough yarn. I have a big line of yarn. I just took a piece and I just ran it all the way down to our stitch marker for our armhole and then back down. And it's basically, I have like enough for like double. So let me get my yarn needle. And I'm gonna connect here. Okay. Do a quick, I don't entirely know what it'd be called, like a, is this like a whip stitch? But this is just how I do it. I like to just go from the outside of the V, like facing me, and then the one on the outside that's not facing me. And just pull that all the way through. Don't pull it like too snug in the beginning because it'll rip through, like this will just come out and then you'll have to reattach and everything and that'll suck. And just go through like so. But you can honestly do whatever seaming method works for you, whichever one you like best. It honestly doesn't matter. This is just what I'm doing. I don't really know like yet all the ways to seam, but we're learning. We are learning, and this one doesn't really call for it. It's just, like I said, you know, this cardigan is so forgiving and it's so colorful, it doesn't even make a difference. And you'll kind of see at the end too what I mean. But I mean, we're all our own worst critics. No one's even gonna be like, oh my gosh, why didn't she seam a different way? Why didn't she seam that, like, you know what I mean? Nobody's gonna care. So you do you. You do you. But yeah, so just keep going all the way down until you get to the armhole, and do the same thing for the right panel. And then I will meet back up when it's time to do the sleeves. So just keep going. And then once you're done with those stitch markers, you can definitely just take them out because they're not needed anymore. Their job is done. They got me to where I needed to be. Okay. Pretty easy, but yeah, just keep working up until you get to that stitch marker for the armhole, and then I'll meet back and show you how to do the sleeves. Also, don't forget to seam where the top of the back panel and top of the front panel will meet, basically on top of the armhole. So just again, and these ones are a little bit more straightforward than going up like the lace section and all that fun stuff down there, just because these are like the top of the stitches. Oh. And make sure that just make sure that the right sides are facing together. So basically you want to do this inside out while it's inside out. You know what, I'm gonna have to turn this because I forget that it's just easier for me because I'm lefty. I'm a lefty. And just keep going like so, and then weave in your ends. Oh, and just keep going. Then you're gonna weave in your ends when you're done. And now I will show you how to do the arms. We're on the sleeve now, and I've already done one, and she's looking rather adorable. So I have to weave that end in, but we've got our lace. So with the sleeve, we're only gonna do one lace section. You can again customize this if you want and do another one, or you don't have to do a lace section at all. If you don't want the lace section in there, you can just keep continuing on with the Suzette stitch, or or what you could do is if you didn't want the lace, or use whatever you want to do, if you want to do like even more like single crochet sections, you could also do that. It would look cute like that too, but this is just what I did. I just wanted to keep it simple. Again, just something, you know, just something that works up super quick, but I love how the sleeve is on this one. And then we have the cuff. It cinches in a little bit. And then another thing too, with the sleeve, I'm going to coordinate the colors, just that way it just looks more intentional. So I'm going to start here with my darker pink, and then make sure that it goes into the same, you know, rhythm as this one goes into. So we're going to start on the right side. So we want the right side facing. And again, I just like the way that because we're going to do single crochet stitches around first and then get into our pattern. So now with the sleeve, we're going to learn how to do increases for the Suzette stitch. So, you know, on the neckline we did decreases, and then now we're going to do increases. So I'll show you how I did that. But we are going to start on increasing right away after the single crochet that we put around. So you know, as I said before, I measured this at 8 inches for the armhole. You can do bigger if you want, if that's what you need. You know, and just try on as you go. Like, this is something that's, you know, easily adjustable, and, you know, make it how you want. And that's what's great about it, honestly. I'm sure it's like many, you know, crochet cardigans and such, but anyway, this is what I did on the last sleeve. I had about, on the sleeve that I just did, I had about 44 stitches. So what we want to do, so we're on the right side again. So where do I want to go here? I'm going to go right here. And as long as I'm like close in, you know, stitches around, I don't think that it'll make that big of a difference. So we're gonna chain 1, and then we're gonna place a single crochet in there. And again, you're just gonna put a single crochet in every row. And it's gonna be all the way around. You don't need to add, you know, double or whatever. It's just put 1 in every row. All right, so I'm at my last single crochet here, and we are going to slip stitch to join. Okay. And then we're going to chain 1 and turn. All right, so as I said before, we're going to start increasing right away, and it's good to have some stitch markers handy. Again, love it. Okay, so we're going to get into the increases. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a single crochet, a double crochet, and a single crochet, all in the same stitch, that same first stitch. And I want to mark my first increase, because I just want to stay on track, and it's just easier for me to remember how many times I've already increased, because I did this, I'm doing the increases this way because I don't want to worry about increasing when I'm going into my lace section, if that makes sense. So there's my increase. So this is my increase row. This is an increase row. I just want to mark my increase row. So we did a single crochet, a double crochet, and a single crochet. So now we're going to do a double crochet, a single crochet, and another double crochet, all in that same stitch. No need to mark that because we're fine. And then we're going to skip 1 and then add a single crochet and a double crochet. And you just continue on with the regular Suzette stitch. Skip 1, single crochet, and a double crochet. Skip 1, single crochet, double crochet. All right, and then go ahead and go all the way around, and then I'll meet you up at the end. Okay, I'm at the end here. I just have a single crochet, and then slip stitch to the first single crochet we did of this row. So place a slip stitch, chain 1, and turn. that's our first increase row. So the next 2 rows are going to be no increase rows. So do 2 more rows of the Suzette stitch, and I'll meet you up after I do my next 2 rows. Okay, so I did my next 2 rows, no increase rows. So now we're ready for another increase. So I started with 45 stitches from the Suzette stitch, and then when I increased, so I started off with 45 of the single crochet stitches, and then when I increased on my first row, it took me to 47. So we are increasing by 2 every time we increase. And the reason why I do it every 4th row is because I just don't want that dramatic of an increase. So we're gonna do another increase here. So I chain 1 and I turned already. So another increase, we're gonna single crochet, double crochet, and single crochet, all in that same first stitch. And I'm actually going to slip stitch into the double crochet. That way it's not in my way when I go to slip stitch to join at the end. Okay, and then skip 1 and then double crochet, single crochet, and double crochet in that same stitch, and then continue on with the Suzette stitch. I skipped 1 and doing a single and a double in the next. Skip 1, single, double in the next. Skip 1, single, double in the next. Okay, and you're just going to continue this all the way around, and then again you're going to do another 2 rows, no increase, and then you're going to do another increase row. So for me, I wanted to increase to 53 stitches, so I'm gonna have to do another couple of increases. This is for the size medium large. This is kind of what I did for the sleeve. I went up to 53, which should be, so for me it was another so after this increase, I'll increase 2 more times. And also another tip is to, if you are going to increase, you still want to make sure that you can get to a multiple of 4. It'll probably be 4 plus 1 because of the Suzette stitch, which is fine, because again, when we get into our lace section, it'll come back down to, in my case, it'll be 52 stitches. So we just want to make sure we keep that multiple of 4 plus 1. So you'll have a total of 19 rows from the start, from the first Suzette stitch until you get to where we're going to do the lace. So I'm going to keep working. I'm going to do my increases, finish this section of the Suzette stitch, and then I will meet you back up when I'm ready to do the lace section. Alrighty, so I have my 19 rows that I did all together. So we're going to slip stitch to join, chain 1, and turn. All right, So now we get into our lace section, and that is done the same exact way that we've been doing it. You're just doing it on the sleeve now. So we're gonna do single crochet in each stitch across, and we're gonna do that for a total of 4 rows. And you should have, if you're following along with the same size that I'm doing, you're gonna have 53 stitches. And then once we do the lace, you will have 52. Okay, so just single crochet all the way across, all the way around, I should say. And we will meet back up at the end, and I will show you how to join. Alrighty, so I have one more stitch. That's my last single crochet, and then we're going to slip stitch into our first single crochet that we did. And then we're going to chain 1 and turn. And then go ahead and do 3 more rows of single crochet, and I will meet you up after that. Alrighty, so I did my last single crochet, and now I'm going to slip stitch to the first single crochet of the row, and I'm going to slip stitch to join. Chain 1 and turn. So I have my 4 rows of single crochet, and now we are going to get into the lace section, and what we're going to do is we're going to loosely chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we are going to turn. All right, so we chained 5, we turned, and then we're going to count over 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to single crochet into the 4th. Loosely chain 5, 5, and skip 3. 1, 2, 3, and single crochet into the 4th. Loosely chain 5, and then skip 3. 1, 2, 3, and single crochet into the 4th. And keep going all the way around, and I'll meet you up at the end. All right, so I just chained the last 5 of my row, and you'll see here that I have 5 stitches left. That's totally okay. It's not gonna make a difference. That's been happening this entire pattern. So we're gonna single crochet into there, and then we are going to slip stitch into this space right here, and then we are going to chain 2 and turn. All right, so going to do the same thing here. Place our 4 double crochet into the 3rd stitch here. So remember, we're going in as a stitch. We want that V. So 4 and double crochet, 2, 3, 4, and then again into the 3rd stitch. If I can get her in there. All right, there we go. So once you get the first one in, it's all good from there. 2, 3, 4, and then again into the 3rd stitch. One, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to continue all the way around, and then you're going to do these 2 rows one more time, and then we're going to do 4 single crochet rows, and go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you up after I complete my next section of the 4 single crochet rows. So I just completed my 21 rows after my lace section for my sleeve. So I'm going to slip stitch to join, and I'm going to change my hook to my 5mm because now we're going to work on the the ribbing. So we're going to turn our work, and what we're going to do is we're going to cinch this in a little bit. So actually, sorry, chain 1 and turn. So I'm going to place a single crochet in every other stitch across. So we're going to start here, and then we're just going to skip. So we're doing single crochets in all of the single crochets from the previous round. Single crochet, skip 1, single crochet, skip 1, single crochet. I just really liked how this cinched in when I did it this way, as opposed to my original. I did like every 4th, but we're gonna do every other. I like the way that it cinches in and it gets that like balloon sleeve look. Skip 1, single crochet. All right, so I'm at my last stitch here, single crochet, and then we're going to slip stitch to join, and now we do the cuffing. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And then I'm going to work into the back bump of the chain. I like to work in the back bump when I'm doing the cuffing, because when we go to seam, I just feel like it's a little bit more straightforward. Like you get the whole stitch, and it's just a little bit easier. It looks a little bit better too. So starting from the second chain from the hook, we are going to single crochet in each of the back bumps. And you honestly don't have to do the back bumps if you don't want to. I just like it better for like connecting purposes. So once we get all the way across, we should have 12 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 12. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. So slip stitch, slip stitch, and turn. Okay, so now we're going to work into the back bump, into the back bump, or the back loop only of our single crochets. And it's just always good to make sure that you're on track by just keeping count of your stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3, 10, and 12. Chain 1 and turn. And we're going to do the same thing back. and then slip stitch into the next two. Turn. And then you're just going to keep going for the join as you go. And you're going to keep going all the way around, slip stitching into the next two stitches. And then when we get to the end, I will meet back up with you, and then we will seam this together. All right, so I have done my cuffing, and I'm on my last stitch here. So I'm gonna slip stitch into that last single crochet here. So slip stitch to join. So now we have our completed cuff, but what we're gonna do is, I just like to turn it inside out, just like this, and hopefully I'm not too awkward on here that I can show you. Okay. So we're gonna put those together. We're gonna chain one, and we're just gonna go down the sleeve here, the cuff here, and I am gonna do the inside loop here, and slip stitch. And again, I'm gonna go on the inside and slip stitch. Okay. And this joins them together. Real nicely. Slip. And I like to go through the whole stitch, kind of like how I do with my ribbing. So both of those, okay? And then we're gonna cut and pull, bring this back out. Look how nice that is. Look at that join, so nice. Look at that cuff. We did it. We did it. We're doing it. So now the last part is the most fun. I say that with, well, I mean, this part can be therapeutic. So what we're gonna do is right side facing out. We're gonna place some single crochets all the way around our we're gonna do the edging now for for the front. So what we are going to do is we're going to place single crochets all the way around the neckline, all the way to the other side, and then we're going to come back up and we're going to do our ribbing. So the way that we're going to do this is right side facing, because we like the way that the single crochets look when they attach when I do them on the right side. It's just a cleaner look for me. So I'll show how to do the single crochets through the lace, because it's pretty much just straightforward after that. So all right. Edit that part out. I'm so parched. Alrighty. So we're going to get our slip knot here. We are going to insert here in this very first stitch. I almost wanted to do a single crochet right there, but that's okay. Slip stitch and then chain one, and we're going to single crochet right there, single crochet all the way down. And this, I mean, the whole thing is very customizable, but when we do the edging, you can go as wide, you know, or not as you want. If you want a thicker band, if you want to keep it consistent with this, which is what I'm gonna do, then that's up to you. If you want it a little bit thinner, that's completely up to you. So we're basically just going in again where it feels natural. For the Suzette stitch rows, we're just going to do one single crochet, and we are using our 5mm hook for this. So just one single crochet, no need to double it. We're going to double it at the lace section. Basically, I'm just going where it feels natural. So we're gonna do one more here. This is like this is the single crochet. And so we're just gonna go in like that, and then so here we're going to go 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. So basically, yeah, you're kind of just like reversing in a sense. So like here at the longer one, you did 2, and then just 1 single crochet and then 2. We don't want to add too much because it'll kind of like crinkle up, I guess, in places we don't want to. So less is more. Less is definitely more. So just 1 single crochet, and just keep going. All the way down and around. Okay, so we're back here at the lace. So we're going to do 1. So we're going to do 2 here. 1. 1. 2. And 1. So not too bad. Okay. And keep going all the way around, and I'll meet you up at the end. All right, so I've completed my edging, or my single crochets all the way around for my edging. And I did fasten off because I want to start on the other side. Because if I start back from here where I ended, I'm going to be joining on the wrong side, and I don't want to do that. So I want to come back over here, and I want to start back here. So look how just nice that looks. See, the other side, this side's better. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our slip knot. And I'm gonna get my hook. And I'm gonna join with a slip stitch. And then chain 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And same thing. We're gonna work in the back bump. Second from the hook. And we want to end with 12 stitches. And this part is a process, but this is a labor of love, and it will be so beautiful, so pretty, and you'll just be super proud of yourself. And it is therapeutic once you like get in your groove, and then by the time you know it, you're done. You're done, and then you just have to weave in the few little bits of ends. And then 12. Okay, and then slip stitch into these next 2 stitches. Sorry, sometimes things don't really work out, but I'm gonna let it work out. 1 and 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. Okay, and then go back down, back loop only. One, and then it's just easier from here. Getting through the chain is is a project in itself. Once you get through that, it's like, okay, I'm home free. And then again, I just like to go in the last, I don't know, I just feel like it's a little bit cleaner. Like, I don't know. It's just what I like to do. Okay, and then back down again. Back loop only. Okay, and then you're going to keep going all the way around. Go all the way around your neckline and then back down the other side of your ribbing. And then I'll meet you up at that point. Okay, so I have completed my ribbing. And so we went all the way down the neckline and all the way back down, and this is what it is looking like at the moment. So I've already weaved in all of my ends, and I'm really happy with how it's looking. So thank you so much for watching. I hope everything made sense, and I hope to see you on my next pattern tutorial, and I'm excited to share that one with you. And I appreciate you being here, and thank you so much. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and I will catch you on the next one.